I am just getting set up. Gonna let a few people pile in. Ooh, change my filter. Yes. And hello to everybody who's watching the playback in the future. Hi to the few people who are here. Do you want to let me know who you are? State your presence. Who's here? Hey, Joe. I wish I had a better background for you guys. You can see most of my stockings. Oh, I wanted to, while we let people pile in. Hey, Sheridan. What I wanted to do was perhaps Ashley, Annette. I'm doing okay. Hey, Leah. My hair. And Teresa. Thank you for starting to watch my videos, Teresa. Hey, Sophie. I was thinking about, I'm doing this live on my phone because better camera than my webcam. So I was thinking about pulling up my own live on my computer to see the chat better. But I also don't know if I need to do that. Maybe if I want to be my own mod. Let's do that. Cool. I've already got ads. Hey, Natalie. How are we all today? It's weird to see myself. Oh, let's not do that. I'll pause me. Does that pause the chat? I hope not. Hey, Elle. Thanks. You answered my question, Elle. No, it doesn't pause me. Winter break. Are you in school or are you getting a break from work? Either way, yes. Very exciting. That's funny. I'm watching me on my computer, or I have me pulled up on my computer screen. I'm like, whoa, you can see my wall of love notes from Jake, my pantry, my bananas. Oh, wow. You must be in a fantastic mood, Sophie, if you just finished, rounded out the year. Streamlabs or OBS, you can use your phone camera for your phone. Thank you for the tip. I'll keep that in mind for next time because I might be doing these public lives more often. Okay, Natalie. Let me see, we've got 36 people here. I mean, I wanted to make this just kind of like a general, like, answer your questions. What's my story of getting into MIT? That's so impressive. Well, I'm smart as hell. No, I'm kidding. That's funny. MIT, I mean, I will just say I was raised to get into an Ivy League school, and MIT is not technically Ivy League. It's more difficult than any of the Ivy League schools, but hey, haters who hate that I say that when you watch me in the playback. But I really just am a total math nerd, and honestly, I think part of it was because all the boys on the math team, including the ones I had crushes on, their dream school was all MIT, and so I was like, I'm gonna apply. And so I did. Harvard turned me down. Harvard's bigger on legacy, so you have a much better chance if you have somebody in your family who went there. I'm not super smart. Ashley said no, she's not. She's super smart. We did election math. Yeah. Ashley and I had we're having, just like everybody, we're having really bad anxiety on election night, and we weren't gonna get an answer night of, so we spent the next couple of days just doing the math, what the projections were based on certain percentages, based on the number of votes still needed to be counted and all that, to really get a pretty definitive answer of what the outcome of the election would be. And so I think for the two of us, for me and Ashley, have both really just kind of calmed our anxiety. Just wanted to pop by. Oh, Jojo, I don't know if you've gone, but that was a really sweet message. Thank you. Gabby Hanna, if she agreed to do a live interview, I would not ask her any difficult questions because I would not want to deal with putting her in an uncomfortable position again by myself. Ooh, Leah, what channel goals would need to be met for me to make my YouTube my full-time gig? That's a really good question. I also hate that you can see like my face products over here. I want to answer this question without like talking. Hey, Tasha. I want to answer this question without like giving figures, if that makes sense when talking about money. But I would for sure have to be making more money than I make currently with my full-time job. My full-time job it's great. I've got a good job, but it really is like just enough to make sure that I'm okay, that I'm comfortable. So my favorite YouTuber, that's ever changing. Oh my God, so many questions. My full-time job, I have actually dual roles. I am a marketing specialist as well as a marketing recruiter. It's at a UX agency, so it's actually marketing in general, but really a lot of UX stuff. But yeah, I would have to make, hey, Sajak. Probably won't make a video on Eugenia Cunha, at least not anytime soon. But I was watching videos about her today. Interesting. That's funny you should ask. Yeah, so I that's all that I would need, really, is that I would need to be making enough money like consistently to quit my full-time job. So I think about that stuff a lot. Like I imagine how big of a platform I would need, and of course like your number of subscribers doesn't determine how much money you make, right? But you can get a general idea. And I think I've thought about this, and I feel like a very comfortable or ideal kind of like number of subscribers would probably be somewhere around like 200K. But I also don't know that I would want any more than like 500K. You know? I feel like 200 to 500 is I like the people who are kind of in that zone. Just always curious how folks make that transition. I think, Leah, for a lot of people that I hear about, I think it's just a matter of, am I making around as much money as I'm making before I started YouTube? Hi, Sienna. Thank you for being subbed since like basically the beginning. That's really cool. Talk about your interior design plans for the future. How did you know to ask that? Ashley, did you see this question? Can you talk about your interior design plans for the future? Okay. I've talked about this on Twitch, and we need to talk about it here on my main channel. And I need to make sure that, I want to be a little more centered. Elle! Oh my God, tell them. Way too excited. Oh, I see. Oh, Cepeda, I didn't realize. You spell your username so differently from how I'm assuming how your name is actually spelled. So that's funny. Did I even say Cepeda? That I feel so dumb. I feel so dumb, but so smart because I'm pretty good at like pronouncing names. That's hilarious. Yeah, so here's the thing. There are 3 things. The 3 things that I love to do more than anything in the world. Just in general, if you said like your 3 most like things that bring you the most joy. Giving like advice and opinions. Making people laugh, which I would love to do that just a little bit here and there. I'm not the best at it, but like I do it enough in life to, feel satisfied. Making people laugh and interior design. And I just can't get enough of it. I'm almost embarrassed at how much my answer to every break, like after winter break, or if there's ever like a spring break or like a weekend where Jake doesn't visit, it's like what did you do for your weekend or your break? It's like, oh, I did stuff around my apartment. It's awesome. I made this pantry out of nothing. Or, you know, like, this, my YouTube setup used to be out here. So it is my, aside from like helping others and I love to help people. I'm just such a good person, but like helping people by means of giving like opinions and advice. Um, Interiors, it is my favorite thing. Fashion used to be really high up there, but I think Trunk Club maybe fucked that up for me a little bit. So in 2021, first I should talk about, I've said this a few times, so rehearsed it. Ashley, you've heard this every time I've said it, but Ashley is awful with interiors by her own admission. I've not seen much of her home, so this is based on what she's told me. Awful, but I'll tell you the funny thing that like confirms for me that she's terrible at this is that she's like, I'm so bad at designing my decorating and I need help. And I was like, I'll help you as long as you pay for everything. I'll do whatever, like I'll do the whole thing. And you can tell kind of like my aesthetic, maybe if you've seen here and there. Best descriptor I can give is like if you were to look up Jonathan Adler, particularly the term Jonathan Adler living room. Like it is my iPhone wallpaper. It's just like kind of a mixture between mid-century modern with pop art and art deco. Like if you took all three of those things, but that would not, I don't think, go well with Ashley because it's not her aesthetic, but it's also like she lives in Hawaii, and it just seems like while it works for like a major city apartment, I don't know that it would work so well where she is. So I like kind of brainstormed. There are other like aesthetics that I really enjoy. I really like kind of this kind of like a Western look. I had a cowhide rug for a little bit, gave it to Jake, and I was trying to like think of like what I think would work, and I'm like, let's like look at like these beach bungalow type of themes. So I told her, I was like, I think that's kind of, I want to move my mouse. I like the light from my monitor. But I said, this is, more or less the theme. Oh my God, what is taking so long? Okay, I need to click. And she said, and she just bought a lava lamp. So I was like, cool. So I've got to figure out how to fit a lava lamp into all of this. Thankfully, she's got her like, Twitch set up so go follow Ash Bash. Ashley, if you want to plug your Twitch handle here. But she's got a Twitch setup, so I think that will be, I haven't actually said this overtly to you, Ashley, but I think that will be a good kind of catch-all area for like maybe the things that are a little too like cheesy and not grown up enough for whatever plan we have is. So the lava lamp will live there. I finally have reconciled that in my heart and in my mind. But she had just bought a lava lamp, and I was like, we got to do something like kind of beachy. And she goes, oh, I should have picked up that pineapple lamp that I saw when I was out. And I was like, no buying anything else for your home. You're done with this. There's a reason that you're outsourcing this job. So I'm sorry, guys. I'll catch up on the chat as much as I can in a bit after I tell you what this plan is. So we've kind of had this plan to like, hey, shy pixie girl. We've kind of had this plan to, for me to decorate Ashley's home. I'm sure the pineapple lamp was cute. Like if you ever have like a nursery one day. Pineapple lamp though. Thank you, Anna. Oh my God. Yeah, everybody please mock Ashley for till the end of time about this pineapple lamp. Send her pineapple emojis. She deserves them. Pineapples and unicorns. That's Ashley in a nutshell. But yeah, I mean, we've talked about me doing this, but like in what time, right? Like I have a hard enough time keeping up with like, I am so stressed out thinking about trying to keep up with my book club that I have on my Patreon. But I do like to Twitch stream, and I was talking to somebody about games that I like to play. There's not a ton. I love playing World of Warcraft, and I was telling somebody that I liked to play Sims 4 before I started my YouTube channel. I was spending a good bit of time in there. But I said that I don't love to play Sims as much as I like to just do the builds, and not even the builds so much as the like interiors. And so, and I remembered, I was like, oh yeah, I remember when I was playing Sims a lot and saying that I wished that I could use Sims as a like an AutoCAD program to, you know, work with clients and do interiors. That would be silly though. But it would be fun if I could. And so I was like, oh my God, Ashley, idea. And so it all kind of hit me at once. I don't, like, you guys know that the podcast is on hiatus for now. And it's like, thank God, because I needed some more time back to give to my main channel and to just breathe. But so I was like, okay, if I'm going to do something with this, it's got to be something where it's not a production, basically. Like, it can't be a production. I remember what I thought. I was like, I want to have like clients. I want to have people that let me decorate their homes, but I wonder how I I want to put this on YouTube. Like, I want to document this. I want to share it with people. But then I thought, there's, you know, if I tried to film that process, that would take so much energy and so much time, and I know how I am with editing and all of that. It would be a time suck. But then I thought, what if we just do this all on Twitch stream? So the whole process, I've done it before, and kind of how I do it with myself, I have a certain process. It's like, you have a concept, you have like a vision board, here incorporating Sims, you could, like, you know, decorate a room in Sims. And then from there, I go through and I find items online, and I kind of fit that, what I need here. And basically what I would do is essentially, I've decided, like, let's do a weekly show. It's like a show, right? A stream where, I'm imagining that a room design would probably happen over the course of like a month, right? Like 4 or 5 weeks. And so, you know, I thought, okay, how can we do this? We can really like start off by like having one episode, right, dedicated to talking to my client and getting a concept going and find out like what their space is like, you know, what they absolutely can't part with, what they want, all that. Then a couple of episodes where we kind of do the design process, and I would be able to get input from people who are in my audience, and also do the whole Sims thing if I decide to integrate that. I don't know if that'll just make things more difficult, but do that, then come up with like actually shopping online and sharing my screen while I do all this. And then of course there would have to be a break once I, you know, hand over these plans and this shopping list to my client. Then you know, probably give it a couple weeks break and then come back for the next season. And then from there, like, you'll get to see Ashley's room that I designed. And I'm sure that there will be no shortage of people who would be willing to let me do that. So it would be pretty symbiotic. I'm so fucking stoked for that. So the hope and the plan is that I've got to keep it as low production as possible. Hey, Cassie. But still like super like fun, entertaining for everybody. So I think it could be really great for everybody if it works as planned. Of course, it's going to end up being more than I expected, but it'll be great. It'll be I think a really fun thing to incorporate into what I'm doing on Twitch. I don't know that I can catch up with this entire chat. Hi from the UK. Why am I so damn cute? Thank you, George. Have I ever considered it as a job? Yeah, that's what I would like to do. What's on all the Post-it notes? Those are love notes from Jake. When he leaves on Monday mornings, he usually leaves me a note or 2 or 3 up there. Or he'll leave them around the apartment. Saw my house, a leash. If there's anything super important, maybe you guys should just type it out again. To other types of content besides commentary, maybe vlogging. I've thought about it, but like, My life is not exciting. There's there's not much that I do. Even on the weekends when I'm like having the most fun ever. That is me and Jake like going, "Oh, Ethan, thank you. That's so nice. I love that little bear that's jumping around with a sweatband. Thank you." Um I like that completely arrested me. But even like on the weekends, it's like we go to 7-Eleven and get a coffee and then we do puzzles all weekend. So I don't know how I could make vlogging that entertaining. Somebody asked about Twitch. Yep, I'm on Twitch. Can you do a video playing WoW? Yeah, I'm on Twitch. Hello Leash everywhere. It's just easier if I keep my username the same everywhere. Currently building a home you designed in Sims. That's amazing, Emily. I love that. Dress you in better clothes for season 2. Jess, we'll do that. Let's do that too. Styling is still up there in terms of like things that I do love to do. I tend to prefer styling men. And any stylist will actually tell you that like it's easier. We women tend to have more opinions about our bodies and our own sense of style, what we're willing to wear, what we're not. Men are a little bit easier where they tend to be like, just tell me what to wear. Tell me what to buy. Tell me what to wear. Show me what the outfits look like. I'll do it. And so like it's fun. Jesse, like I do it to myself. That's one of my favorite things to do. Menswear is awesome. Yeah, but styling is a really close to my heart. I actually went to school for a little bit to get a master's in fashion design. I wasn't sure if I wanted to be a stylist or a designer or what, but so I decided to go for the more difficult degree. Did not finish it because I got a job as a stylist, and that job, I've mentioned it before in previous streams, like it really kind of ruined a lot of things for me. So I'm trying to find my love for it again. So yep, I guess that addresses Sabeda's question about fashion videos. Cassie, you got a birthday thing from Jake. Did he donate money to your fundraiser? I'll bet, because he's pretty good about those things. He's the best. We stand Jake in this community. Of course we do. B-roll and time lapses. That's way too much work for me. I'd rather sit down. It's already so much work for me to sit down in front of my camera and talk and then color edit that and then edit that on my computer. Like, oh my God. How would I describe my style? In terms of interiors, like I said earlier, Jonathan Adler living room, mid-century modern plus Art Deco plus pop art. In terms of my personal fashion, like I'm still trying to get back to like 2012 to 2014 me, but of course I would have to update that. I was very much in this like way of being like fun, pretty, girly, cute, sexy, with like this like indie girl vibe. Not over the top, not like head to toe ModCloth, you know? Elements here and there that made me feel like, oh, this is fun. And I used to do outfit of the day, like most days, and I did that on Daily Booth, and then eventually moved over to Instagram, and only recently stopped doing that because of COVID. I was like, it's really hard to keep up with like putting together an outfit and getting myself dolled up just to go take a picture in the alley. Like, no. But my time working at Trunk Club really, I think, kind of fucked with my own perception of what my personal sense of style is like, because you're there in this world kind of entrenched in fashion. These people think they're working in fashion. It's not high fashion, but you get kind of consumed with like labels and certain looks that kind of the cool kids, because Trunk Club was like all cool kids, and I was like definitely like the most uncool there, right? And it really messes with your perception of what you like. So I've really decided in the past I would say in the past year, but maybe even less than that, I've wanted to kind of like come back to finding my own. Also refining my sense of style a little bit too. Um, the next video, we're going to talk about frenemies, updated. How did me and my boyfriend meet? Bumble. I'm a big fan of online dating. It's the way to do it these days, especially if you live in a major city and you don't drink. My cats are great. They're excited about Christmas. They keep seeing all these packages coming. I got them a little travel house there, and they're not going to be excited when we put them in the car and when Atticus goes to the vet next week, but let's see. Somebody asked about books. Ashley said, yes, I do read. I'm not good at it. But yeah, we do have a book club on my Patreon. I really need to sit down and dedicate time. In fact, I have my book right here. This is the book that we're supposed to be discussing next. We were actually supposed to be discussing this as of this past Sunday. I have a flosser in here as my bookmark. But yeah, we do book club, and now it's gotten to the point where we're doing like 2 books a month. It's a lot. I need to get caught up. Hopefully I can do that over the holidays and we can just get all caught up. But we had a talk together with the few people that are involved in book club, and we said, hey, like, what do we think of doing a year of Harry Potter next year, where we take all of the books and kind of spread them out across 2021. And for the most part, everybody was like, hell yeah, let's do that. So if you want to be part of that, that is part of Patreon. It is a $5 membership. So no pressure, but that is something to look forward to in 2021 is being really just kind of like entrenched in Harry Potter. And that I'm excited about. I don't read a ton of fiction, but there's just so much culture around Harry Potter that that I think it just could be a lot of fun. It'll be a ton of fun. Amy, thank you for saying that I'm so cool. You love what I wear. I think that's what was going on at the time when I was like really feeling my outfits. I was working as a marketing representative or a leasing agent for this big fancy building I talk about in DC, and I wasn't around other fashion people. So I was really just getting feedback from like the people around me and like the people I interacted with online, and it was great. It was really good for my, for my sense of, I don't want to say my sense of self, that comes from yourself, but like, hearing just positive feedback about these things. Hi, Fernando. Didn't get my handbags yet. I got one. I got a Ted Baker handbag. I bought a bunch on Poshmark that I shouldn't have done, but who knows? Actually, maybe I'll really like it. Rachel Cargill. I have heard of her. I don't know how I know her. But is she an author? Have I maybe read one of her books? I would give my take on the Angelica and Smoky Glow video was supposed to be about, and then that situation just got so convoluted, and I was like, there's no way that I can give my opinion. I think that although the concepts I'm bringing forward, I think a lot of people could see where I'm coming from. People were too polarized on the people. And I've noticed, I kind of figured out that that's like how my channel operates and how I tend to catch a lot of flack and catch some haters and some controversy, not controversy, but just conflict and disagreement, I think comes a lot from me talking about concepts, right? And people perceiving that to be that I'm siding with the wrong party. When, and a good example of this is, I'll let you guys know that the week after next, you will get a video where it's basically a year in review, where I look at my first year on YouTube and talk about everything that happened. A really good example of that would be, I was not a fan of Anthony Padilla and Mikey, but really Mikey, in the whole situation with them and Trisha Paytas, right? I feel like this is what I don't like about drama channels is I feel like there's too many people giving really obvious opinions, right? How many videos do you need of somebody sitting here in front of you and being like, Trisha Paytas self-diagnosed herself with DID, and then she turned on the troll and, pretended to have DID, and it's so offensive, and she's spreading misinformation. It's like, all this is true, but you've heard it. You've already heard it from 40 different drama channels and commentary channels by the time I'm able to get a video up. I want to talk about the more like nuanced things that maybe everybody's not noticing. And it's like, yeah, we were pissed off at Trisha Paytas in that moment. And so when Mikey rolled her eyes, so did we. And like, that's fine for us to do that at home. But that was a concept I wanted to talk about. Trisha Paytas is not some sort of mental health advocate, whereas these people were. And so the way they handled the mental health of somebody else, I disagreed with. But in expressing that opinion, a lot of people took that to be, okay, so you're siding with Trisha Paytas in this situation. It's like, no, that's not what I'm doing. And so that's where I was going when I started to make a video about the Angelica and Smokey thing. And I realized that by having an observation and a concept I wanted to talk about, in that it looked like I was siding with the wrong party, and I was just like, I can't do this, especially with some stressful things going on this week. I'm just catching up on the chat. Amy's glad that I'm away from a certain situation. I'm not sure which one you're talking about, but thank you. I don't know if you're talking about Trunk Club. I don't know if you're talking about... maybe you are. Oh, yeah. If any of you guys are patrons of mine, please let me or a mod know, Ashley is a mod, that you would like to be, or just like state it anywhere that you'd like to be in the book club, and we'll give you a book club role so you can get those updates. Grabbing assumptions. Yes, I'm grabbing assumptions from the chat. Please send them. No one's covered sometimes. That's funny that you say that, Sajak. It's hard to find an angle that no one's covered sometimes. I tend to like, I don't know if it's like a certain like contrarian like streak in me or something, but I tend to find something like, hey, why is nobody talking about this thing? And I'll pick something apart. I'll pick it apart to shreds. Joey Graceffa's experience with Gabby Hanna on Escape the Night. I mean, obvious. Like, we heard that she was a nightmare to work with on a set. Trisha Paytas told us that she'd made somebody cry, and I think it was just a matter of who. Am I surprised? Absolutely not. And that's really all there is to it. It's sad. It's really sad when somebody says, hey, this person was so mean to me that I cried. But same. So anti-MLM, yes, I am. Some things that helped you, cravings and recovery. I don't have cravings so much as I'll have anxiety. So anything that helps with anxiety, AA meetings, if nothing else. Anxiety hacks, we talk about those a lot on Patreon. Take this as huge. Talk about how Alex James collabed with Curtis Lepore after the TMZ article broke the news about what he did to Jesse. Bruna, I'll be honest with you. I only know so much about that, but what I do know, and it was enough for me, was that how Alex explained it is that he was friends with Curtis. I don't think he knew whether or not that was true. Of course, what happens in court and when what Curtis was telling his friends was, I'm sure, what different from whatever statement he signed or whatever with the plea deal. So the way that Alex said it to me was he was friends with Curtis initially. Then when Curtis admitted to Alex what he had done, he cut him out of his own life and talked to Jesse about it. He was not friends with Jesse at the time. He became friends with Jesse, and he apologized to Jesse. And for Jesse, that's all that she needed. So that's kind of like the difference between him actually collabing with Curtis and Gabby Hanna, like maybe not interacting with Curtis or blah, 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 behind the scenes. I think it's the fact that first of all, I'll just go ahead and tell you guys this already. Jen Dent has put this out there, but for some reason people are not catching on to this information. But Gabby Hanna actually sided with Curtis Lepore, and made some really just like offensive, insensitive remarks about Jesse, and just saying like, yeah, in my hometown, the cops are overworked by false rape allegations. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to. I don't know. I can't put a trigger warning on this, but trigger warning for whatever we may talk about. But yeah, so she said that, and was basically sticking by his side, even though she really wasn't like friends with him, and she didn't believe him. I've seen a Google document that Gabby Hanna's patrons like pass around, and the patrons know. Gabby knows, Jesse knows, the patrons know, like everybody behind the scenes knows that Gabby publicly supported Curtis at the time, and then deleted everything that she could, any shred of that from the internet. Lily Marston posted a really good like timeline that shows all the receipts that like kind of really help you to see that situation for what it was. And I think and from what I understand, it was when Gabby decided to believe Jesse that she went to Jesse and apologized for ever siding with Curtis. And then that's when they became friends. And that's when Jesse let her live with her and all of that. And so now I think the frustration between that group is in Gabby continually denying that it ever happened, making Jesse look like a liar. That is the frustration. I think if she were just to own it and say again that she's sorry, it wouldn't be an issue. In fact, I believe Jesse said that's all she wants from Gabby, but it's never gonna come, according to her. So if that's enough for me, it's not even my apology to accept. But Alex is, from what I've seen, he's a really fantastic person, and I think that all the information that we need was really already out there. But you're right, I hadn't said that overtly. Hello, contrarian. I'm really not a contrarian at all. I think Trisha has some unresolved trauma from earlier life issues. Oh, for sure. For sure. Fayette, thank you for coming to the stream for the first time. You're more successfully analytical than I say, Jack. I will say, Jess is better at comedy in her videos. I can, like I said, I can pick something apart to shreds. But she's more on the comedy side. Anna says that my personality is so sweet. Thank you. Favorite stress relieving activities: cleaning my apartment, decorating my apartment. Also puzzles with Jake. Like, it really does, like, when you get good at puzzles and like turn on a good Spotify playlist. He lets me play DJ. He's like the most amazing. That really like hones all my energy, and like time passes and I'm so calm in those moments. Can't find this. It's a trans viewer. Summarize why folks feel comfortable moving forward. It is acknowledged. We talked about J.K. Rowling in the book club before deciding whether or not to do that. The Harry Potter culture is alive, and I guess it would have to be a question of whether or not you disavow the entire like series and the culture around it, the lore, the love of it, and all of that, or is this a situation where you separate the art from the artist? I really would not want any of my trans friends or viewers to take that as something personal against them. I enjoy a lot of art from a lot of people who've done and said some really fucking shitty things. We do recognize it. We're not trying to like act like it didn't happen. Thank you, Mara Jade. And Samwise, I mean, I know that that's probably not the perfect answer, but I hope that at least, um, you know, it does helps that I am like recognizing that we have talked about that. Yeah. I mean, I bought the series before I ever knew of anything that she said, so I have it. Um, I am religious, but not in a way that I don't conform to any traditional set of religious thoughts or ideology. I've kind of, over the course of most of my life, kind of developed what made sense to me, and I call that my religion. Um, don't women exist then? Oh, I'm Samwise. Thank you. I'm so glad. I feel better about that you said that. Um, but I love talking about my religion, but it's also one of those things where uh, it you got to be really careful with these things, because the moment I even say something like I am religious, people, I've noticed this with friends even, will go ahead and slap their preconceived notions on you without asking you, because they don't even know to ask some of these things. I talked to a friend recently about how like they made a comment that implied that I am a creationist, and it's like, no, just because I have faith does not mean that I don't believe in science. Those two things are mutually exclusive. Um, my astrology sign, Sun and Moon. I don't know. I do have CoStar, the app. I forget to open it. I downloaded it the other day. Jen Dent does deserve an apology. She's never gonna get it. Gabby and her fans have way too much of a vendetta against her. So I think she knows she's never gonna get it. Are you on YouTube and Twitch full time now? Oh no, I wish. I thankfully there work is not demanding too much of me during COVID. It was never really that demanding of a job as it was. But it's I schedule everything right down to the like I would grab my notebook if I had it within arm's reach, but I need to fit. I'm like, okay, what are all the things I need to fit in today? I need to get a workout in. I need to read however many pages. That's the one thing that usually falls off. I need to record a video. And so I'm like, okay, during this time I'll do this, during this time I'll do this, and just get it done. And one thing I will not sacrifice is sleep. So, yeah, Vivian, about taking from a little bit of each religion. If you really look at all the major religions, those that stand the test of time, right? If it stands the test of time, that means that it's provided more good than bad to its communities. And I heard somebody that kind of identify the differences between religion and cult that way. And if you look at religions, they're all the same. So that is kind of, I would love to have a stream. I think I've maybe even a stream where I just talk about my religious views. I will say this book right here, if anybody's interested, when I was trying to sort out what I believe, I went to the library and I went to find like religious text, and all of the things, I went through a period where I was trying to quit drinking and I was unemployed, and I was just like, I had all these thoughts and I had all these concepts of like God and religion and what's right, what's wrong, and what I believe. And it didn't fit. It did not fit with my kind of like the definition of my religion as I knew it growing up, although I knew what I believed and I wasn't going to change that. And so I happened upon this book. Oh my God. I'm not Baptist. In fact, I had a stint with the Baptist church, with a certain type of Baptist church that was actually very cult-like. And but it was a Baptist reverend that wrote this book and answered 10 major questions, and it was just like, oh my God, that's what I've been thinking. And it was just, everything was just validated. Things like how, like, well, what does God think of gay people? It's like, well, the Bible never, for one, the Bible's a book. I'm gonna get way too into this. The Bible's just a book. But if we're going to talk about what the Bible says about homosexuality, it really doesn't condemn homosexuality. It condemns something called pederasty, I think it is. Adults taking child concubines. That's what the Bible condemns as an abomination. And so it's people that convolute this shit. Like, at the end of the day, all this stuff should come down to values. And if the value is that we should love one another, then why are we getting all bogged down with like what this freaking book says and how like different how people have interpreted it across the years, you know? Like, Caroline, hey, sorry, somebody, I got going about my religion. I would love to give like a whole like weekend seminar about just what I believe. I would love to talk more about that. It's unfortunately, if I could just say like, that is the one area in my life, there are two areas. The one area in my life where I don't feel as free to talk about what I believe as the others. Can't stand how they shove. Ethan, I would just ask you to trust that if it doesn't feel right to you with their whatever views are shoving down your throat, it doesn't need to, and that doesn't mean that all religion is bad. It doesn't even mean all Christianity is bad. It just means that this thing that doesn't sit well with you probably doesn't sit well with you for a reason. It's what I believe. Hella cute stockings. Amazon, I think. Oh no, Target.com. Gabby's new channel. Do I listen to Gabby's music? I really like Out Loud, and I really liked Butterfly. I was obsessed with Butterflies when it first came out. I may talk about her new channel. I'm just trying to catch up with the chat. I've got the chat box. Shy Pixie Girl, no worries. There are plenty of people who are asking questions. Let's see. I need to catch up. Not a Sagittarius. I'm a Scorpio. So here's do you guys want to know what I think of Gabby's new channel? Being so sweet with your previous response. Oh, thanks. It's actually really scary to see Gabby in these. Yeah, I'm really concerned. So here's my quick, like, armchair psychology about Gabby's new channel. I believe a Patreon live about my religious view. I honestly don't know that I have enough patrons that care to know. Like, I don't know, maybe. Yeah, maybe that's something we'll do on Patreon. So with this new channel, first of all, I'll say this. Smoking weed, it's great. Some people like it more than other people. I have, in periods, really loved it, and there have been periods where it really didn't work. Like, me and weed were just, like, not a good mix. It's for some people with anxiety, it makes things worse. And like these days I have an on-off, like I've got a mixed relationship with it, but I think that it's one of those things that's like, if you're gonna do it, cool, that's fine. That's like saying like, you know, I use this thing, or I do this thing, or I do that thing, or like some people just like, they like wine or something like that. That's still not even the best analogy. But it really seems to be that in the past 6 months or so, it seems like Gabby Hand's really used weed as like kind of like a personality trait, and it's like she's like cool, like really cool, because she smokes a lot of weed, and like that really doesn't sit well with me. How did I feel my time when I first started getting sober? Oh my God, like life was entirely different, and there was like so many things I could do. I felt normal again. I went to meetings a lot. I made friends in rehab, and I went to meetings with them. So, I mean, hey buddy, come on up. So time was easy to fill. So yeah, there's that, right? The whole like, look at him, use me. I love him so much. Hey, Lorian. So I do think that that is kind of cringeworthy. The whole like, I'm cool, I smoke weed. The spa music, like, I'm sorry, I shouldn't laugh. I'm sorry. The spa music underneath, like when she decides to get all deep and meta, which is like the whole channel, right? is cringeworthy. I think it's I think I think that when one smokes weed, everybody, like I said, has a different relationship with it. I really like the thoughts that I have when I smoke. Not all of them. Sometimes I get out of control, but I do think that for some people, you do kind of like explore different avenues, and I make different observations, and things are funny to me that are funny when I'm not smoking, if that makes sense. Like I can point things out that are just really fun, interesting concepts, and it seems to me that Gabby is like kind of talking through her thought processes, and like the way I've said it is like kind of escaping into different avenues of her brain, which is that's a good thing. Hi, buddy. Yeah, we're having a whole conversation. Bless you. Um, but I think that this new me, I don't buy that. I believe that she believes it, but I think that it's escapism for her because you don't come back. I'm sorry, you don't have a mental breakdown. You're so handsome, buddy. You don't have a mental breakdown and then within a matter of just a few months come back and really find yourself, and then you're in the best place that you could ever be and you're so happy. And this is where I really feel for Gabby in these moments, but like come on girl, like get it together and like be real with yourself at least. I'm hearing a lot of I never knew myself. I really know myself now. I am my true self now. But also, like, then you hear her talk about hating herself. And the thing is, it's a rinse and repeat. We've seen this before. She's talked like this before. And it's almost like every fall and winter. Every fall and winter, she talks about how happy she is. So this was happening last year at this time. She was doing those Instagram lives that got her in trouble, saying like, "Oh, I've got my house, I've got my boyfriend, I've got my friends, I've got my music, everything's wonderful, I'm so happy." And then later in like come April, she's talking to Irene and she's like, "That's the most depressed I've ever been was that time." But I can't tell people that when it's happening. So just like it's like really, so like you're lying to us when you, so how do we know what's real? So why am I to believe that now, right now, when she says she's really found herself, that she has? I don't think so. I think that she's really gonna have to face reality before she can say that she's found herself. And I think that that means that she's gonna have to make amends, and that's, I'm sure, scary. I think she's religious to some degree, and for a lot of religious people, there's a lot of guilt and a lot of shame and a lot of fear. Thankfully, my views have helped me to not really have a lot of that, even if I do make poor decisions. But I think there's just a lot that's scary about having to face her actions in the past, her behaviors, and how she's really kind of burned and hurt people. Your sleep paralysis demons. Hashtag I am so kind. Bugsy, I didn't read right over your comment. I wasn't reading. So if you want to send it again, please do. I'm not trying to ignore anyone. I'm really just kind of like getting kind of lost in my own thoughts. Get kind of, oh, I see. Yeah, no, like DMs, we can talk about that later. Thanks for wishing me well. I hope you're well too. Make an appearance. Da, da, da. Team Oliver. How do you tip a cat? You can send him a gift to my P.O. box. Oh my god. Next time I check the P.O. box, it's going to be filled with cat toys. The nail polish that I'm wearing. Oh, I just put it in my bedroom, didn't I? It's actually an Essie one, but it's like they have these like rectangular bottles. These like little, and it's like just like a tan color. I'm sure it wouldn't be that hard to find with that descriptor, I hope. Does smoking weed have any effect on my addiction to alcohol? No, not for me. I'm sure like substances are very different for people in sobriety. For some people, it's like some people are, say, sober from really hard drugs and they can drink. And there are some people who are sober who don't believe that that's sobriety. They'll be like, no, that person drinks, they're not sober. For me, I have a friend who was on H, very hard drug, something like 6 years. So, but she'll have a drink once in a while and she's fine. And so, in my opinion, she is sober from the drug her drug of choice. Some people believe that marijuana does make you not sober, and those people, if that's what their truth is for them, then that's true for them. But for me, I completely different. For one, I'm able to even consume, like, I'm able to take medication that has a depressive effect, which for a lot of people, for alcoholics, is really kind of like can be dicey. But contrary to popular belief, weed is a stimulant and not a depressant. So it really is not something that conflicts with my sobriety. In fact, it's more likely to give me more anxiety. So it's something that I need to be calm in order to consume. Oliver has opinions. I can't read every single message. I'm still catching up. I just use too much, but you're literally my post-transition goals. Aww, the Gracie Elegance. Me? My clumsy ass? That's so sweet, Fernando. That's the sweetest thing that I've heard in a long time. I have a P.O. box. Yeah, if you go to hellaleash.com. I don't know what the address is, actually. I know that it's P.O. Box 53171, Washington, D.C. 20009, I think. Hi, Coco. Yeah, I'm probably going to be live for just a few more minutes. Your girl hasn't eaten dinner yet. Target has what? The stockings? Thank you for telling me that I'm cute. This will stay on my channel. I don't think anything's happened to where I feel like I should take it down. In fact, you guys haven't even like drilled me for anything difficult. You have asked me nothing but fun questions for the most part. There was a couple there where we had to get a little bit like let's dig into some difficult topics, and we got through it, I think. Okay. Clumsiness is the cherry on top. Are you even interesting if you're not clumsy? Say, Jack, for some reason I thought you said you were going to send me socks. And I was like, thanks, I don't wear socks that much. Locks of hair, better. It's approaching midnight, Ethan. Time to go to bed. Get your 8 hours. I found out on my 23andMe, I always get over 8 hours of sleep. And then 23andMe was like, hey, guess what? We got new like studies and information. And they're like, we find that you're a deeper sleeper than most, and that you don't function well on less sleep as other people can. And I was like, true. That whole like I'll sleep when I'm dead thing, like, can't do that. Your girl is like can't function without sleep. The podcast will likely return when I have time to and find a different way to produce it, because it was just honestly the production value was although we called it janky, like the production value was too high for me to think that I would ever be able to do anything else outside of that on a weekly basis. Any book recs for when you want to feel better? This. I don't know. I honestly, the books that I read or the ones that I love the most are pretty dark. There is a book called, not The Happiness Project, How to Be Human. That one is good in terms of like, if you actually want to help yourself. I like some pretty heavy stuff. There's one book that I've talked about a good bit called Tattoos on the Heart, and it's a Jesuit priest and his experiences, really kind of community, like I want to say community policing. It's kind of like that in LA in the 80s and 90s between these two rival gangs and these like Hispanic communities. But I like to read a lot of like memoirs and shit like that. So, but this really just kind of helped me find a lot of inner peace, if that helps. Mara J, does anyone else wish Hallelujah should just record herself reading a book? I actually started to do that with this book. I was like, I'm going to make my own audiobook because I asked so many people to read this and I buy it for people and they don't read it. It's funny. I've thought about like, that would be fun. But also like, you'd have to have a lot of like edits and jump cuts, just like my videos. They're not scripted. This is just how I am. I just mess up words. Hi, Nunya. We're actually ending soon. I don't get a hall pass. I'm 35 years old and I've sown my wild oats. Calming sounding. Thank you. For some people like that are used to consuming a lot of YouTube, this is not calming. This is boring. Because I'm not like, hey guys, welcome back. Mr. I don't know if I want to say his name, but Ashley's husband said that I should work. What did he say? I should work in like public radio. People have suggested ASMR. I just can't imagine like I would enjoy that very much. How does it feel to be a little nugget? It's the best thing in the world when people call me that. It feels good. Okay. We probably do need to like slow it down. And honestly, you guys, I realized that because I wasn't going to give you a regular commentary video, I recorded one, and then I like I said, the topic got way too complex and I didn't want to put it out. So I'm going to try my best in the future that if there is a week where I'm not able to give you a regular commentary video, that we can do something like this, if it sounds good to you. That's so nice of him, Ashley, and pure vibes. Jack, it's not an insult to me when somebody says they watch your videos to fall asleep. Jake does that. Jake falls asleep to my videos. Thoughts on Trisha hitting Moses? Not good. Not good at all. Anybody hitting anyone, anybody hitting their partner, it's bad. It's abuse. But you know, they're working through that on their own. So, thanks. She's lucky she can smoke and not drink. Usually if I smoke, then I will want to drink. Then I end up... Yeah, then you and I, Coco, probably have very, very different experiences with that substance. So don't be jealous of me because I probably don't enjoy it as much as you do. Always be my little nugget. That's me. I hope nobody feels like I, tried to gloss over any of their questions. I tried to answer as many as I could see. Tickles you. Yeah, so my video's up. See? Like, that's great. That's great. I fall asleep to things that I really enjoy. I fall asleep, actually, here you go. Last bit of trivia. Everybody already knows this. I fall asleep to what I call crime porn. That is my favorite stuff to fall asleep to. What question am I afraid to answer? I think I've answered even the scary ones. You're welcome, Amy. I had a lot of fun. Is Atticus in frame? Hey, buddy. Hi. They can see just the top of your little head. I would tell you to come here, but you're really bad at being held. He's giving me like a really like snobby face. Atticus, come here. Come on, Papa. Come on up. He doesn't come on up. Only Oliver does. Okay. Atticus is your son's name. Aw, that's so sweet. Atticus Finch. He did a head tilt. I'll have to watch it back. I'll probably not watch this back. I don't know. For some reason, it would make me cringe. All right. Well, I'm really glad that I was able to do this. If you like these lives and want something a little more personal, I'm plugging my Patreon. But my patrons get these days, almost weekly lives that are usually about an hour and a half long. I'm so calming. Aw, thanks, Anna. Yeah, you guys, I love this too. You guys said a lot of things that really made my day. So thank you for that. It was a fun way to end the work week, Leah. I agree. Thank Jake for fucking up his own schedule and not being able to show up today. I'm gonna have to see him tomorrow. Okay, well, I'm gonna go eat dinner, finish up everything that I need to do before he shows up. And I love you guys, and I'll probably see you on social media like now. Consider vlogging. Maybe. Definitely, I will probably put some videos up on Patreon. All right, guys. Love you. I'll talk to you next time we do this, which probably January, probably. All right. Love you guys. Bye. Look at my fingers.